let's talk about Cal for a little bit because he is the captain.
Yeah.
So my feeling is, and a lot of people on Twitter, a lot of people on messaging everywhere else, social media, were saying, well, pull that damn captain's armband off the guy.
Exactly.
Because after Gregis gets a red card, as the captain, I think you're supposed to be kind of the clear-headed one and kind of calm everything down a little bit.
I would agree with that.
And say, we're still in this game. We're down a man, but we're still a goal back. We can come back. It's tough, but we can come back.
Right.
He goes off and just gets another red card.
Yeah, and that's him. He's always kind of been that way, and for me, that's not appropriate. It's not appropriate actions for a captain.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with everyone that I think he needs to lose the armband. And, I think I've voiced this opinion in the past that I think Calvo gets a little bit of special favor.
Yeah.
And I think it has a lot to do with the front office.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He was one of the first signings of the team.
Big signing.
He was the big
one.
Big signing.
Mm-hmm.
And so to start regressing, pulling him out of his position already, and now we're talking, does he deserve the armband? You're starting to see things fall apart for him.
But he, the funny thing is, he was the leader of the defensive backs last year.
Yes.
Okay, and look how bad we were last year.
Well, yeah,
then we bring Opara in, and guess what? Things changed. We got better back there because Calvo was no longer the leader. He was kind of like the second guy. But then Ike is out this last game because of concussion. Calvo's back in that kind of leadership role, and look what happens.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting because there's always a lot of conversation about how important is a captain really anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you can see times where the captain actually does make a difference.
Yeah.
And we'll probably talk about this once we get to the next game.
Yeah.
Where Ozzy was captain, and things look different.
They did.
Some quick hits on this game. I thought one thing we need to point out is our recoveries.
Mm-hmm.
Our recoveries were, in my opinion, off the charts.
Yeah.
I mean, the defense was pretty a mess. We gave up a lot of cheap stuff on offense, but we were able to recover in midfield quite a bit.
Yes.
And I think that saved us a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And now what I found really interesting was comparison of the left side and the right side.
Mm-hmm.
So against Toronto, we had Schuler in as the inverted winger.
Yep.
That was probably due to Miguel being injured.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because all our possession went to the right side.
Yep.
And we talk about this all the time. Romain is our man of the match.
He's our guy.
Practically every game he's in the conversation. And it's interesting because if you look at, I'm going to give a plug to Major League Soccer here. If you go to MLS and you go to go to Minnesota's page, go to the recap of this game, and then go to the box score, they have what they call the chalkboard. And this is an MLS feature. You can basically break down, each team, each player, passes, defenses, all this stuff. And it was interesting. You look at the chalkboard with Calvo's passing, and it's very defined area, about not quite 18-yard box to probably 30 yards out on the attacking side, so outside of the final third. And then you click on Schuler to add his passing in, and it literally overlaps. So Schuler and Calvo weren't doing anything different.
No.
Like, they were basically just the same player. Now, here's the problem with that in my eyes is we're not getting any attacking movement on the left side.
No.
And when you have a player like Metnier, when you have a player like Finley or Miguel, who's on the right side a lot, or even with LA where Dunladi was on the right side, you have the ability to play well because these guys have some pace. They have the ability to get the ball, get the ball further up, overlapping runs. But if your two players on the left side aren't doing anything.
Yeah.
Eventually, teams are going to key on the right side.
Yeah, they're just going to jam up the right side.
And Schuler's not the guy
Oh.
to take advantage of that.
No.
And Calvo, if he takes advantage of that, it exposes the defense. So I think we have a real problem with it. And I think that the Toronto game and the LA game
Yeah.
shows that Schuler has a particular role.
Yeah, we'll talk about Schuler when we talk about the Galaxy game because he was in this game and he played a different position, and he looked 10 times better than he's looked all
Exactly.
year.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
So you know, I think that's what we have for that game.
Okay.
You know, I
Yeah,
think.
I think we were all of us were a little frustrated with that game.
Yeah, and I should point out we all picked us to lose,
We did, yeah.
but still, when the game was playing out the way it was, we were like, okay, well maybe we were wrong.
We were wrong, but
Yeah.
we weren't.
Right.
Yeah. So we then played a game Wednesday night against the LA Galaxy.
Right.
And the difference between this game and the game we played early in the season was Zlatan
Yes.
was back.
You know, Zlatan's getting the attention.
He's back. He's getting the attention. We had, of course, no Calvo, no Gregus
Calvo.
because of the red card. So our lineup was a little bit shifted up. We played a 4-2-3-1. So, and we had, of course, in the striker position, we had Angelo was up there.
Yeah.
In that kind of forward position, we had DQ. We had, was it
Dinladi.
Dinladi and Molino?
And Molino made a start.
which
Yep.
was crazy. In that midfield position, we had Ozzy, and then
And
Schuler
Schuler.
was in that midfield position.
So he was back to where he was last year.
Yeah. So, and then on the back end, we had Boxall didn't play,
Boxall did not play.
so we
which
had
was
Ike
good.
back. We had Ike,
And Kalman in center.
Kalman. We had
Miller out on the left.
on the left, and then Metnair on the other side.
Yeah.
So Boxall didn't play in this game, which is interesting because he made a couple mistakes in the.
Well, I mean,
Toronto
yeah,
game.
I think, you know, like I said, both Pozuelo goals, I think, were on him. Mm-hmm. You can make an argument that how disjointed the back line was the entire game, even the Hamilton goals probably could be partially blamed, yeah.
So they shook it up a little bit. What I saw when they came out was they came out with a shitload of energy. The team,
I agree, yeah.
There was a lot of back and forth in this game, and I know the possession. If Stevens was here, he'd tell us the possession numbers. I think the possessions were.
It was 57. It ended up 57-43 in favor of LA.
Yeah, in favor of LA,
But it was pretty back and forth.
if you watched the game, you couldn't tell because there were times when we had the ball in their third for a while, they had the ball on our third for a while, and it was a back and forth type of thing.
Yeah, and I checked early or late on in this first half, and it was pretty balanced.
And so there were a ton of chances for United in the first half.
Yeah.
A ton of chances that were either missed kicks or, just all kinds of times where you kind of got up and said, and then nothing happened.
Yeah, they had 6 shots off target.
Yeah.
And they had 5 block shots even, so.
And you were at that game.
I was.
It didn't start raining till the second half, right?
Oh, that's correct, yep.
Okay. So in the first half, it wasn't raining. The turf shouldn't have been slick. I think the guys just had so much energy. I think they were just kind of miscuing. And it was a totally different formation.
I think so, yeah.
So the big thing I want to talk about in this game, though, was the fact that Zlatan, they did a great job on this guy.
A phenomenal job.
In the first half, I remember there was one time where he went to go kick the ball there to try to score a goal, and the turf kind of came up.
Yeah.
And he ripped it out, and he threw it on the ground.
Yep.
And I was like, that's Zlatan for you. That's the type of guy he is. He just he gets pissed off about shit like that.
Yeah.
You know?
And, and this is a little bit ahead of everything, but he even made a comment that he was asked if he was upset or that if he dropped 2 points or if it was I don't remember if it was a good result.
Yeah.
And he said, well, if the team that we were playing had played well,
yeah,
I'd be upset.
Well,
and I was like, dude, you didn't score
he didn't.
for the first time that you've played because the team played well.
Did you hear his comments after that, or his comments around that same time, were the fact that do you think they? I think it was like, do you think they stopped you? He's like, no, I don't think they stopped me. I think it was because I didn't have any opportunities.
Yeah.
I was like, bullshit. You had tons of opportunities.
Well, and if he didn't have opportunities, that means that the team played well.
But he had opportunities. He had at least 3 or 4 opportunities to score a goal, and he didn't do it.
Right.
And so Zlayton, I know, is kind of that kind of.
He is. That's what he is.
He's a lightning rod for shit like this, and he's never going to. I don't think he would ever say a team outplayed him.
Oh, I don't.
He would never say it.
I mean, him admitting that he was outplayed would be.
But if you look at the
outrageous.
tape, you can see that they stopped the opportunities, or if he got an opportunity, they held him up.
Right.
But
and I'll even say, this is Zlayton. I mean, this is what makes him who he is. I mean, he's obviously one of the best strikers in the world.
He was frustrated.
So I get it.
This game was, like you said, back and forth.
Yeah.
Opportunities on either side. No goals scored in the first half.
Right.
Which amazed me because of the shitty way our defense played last game. But in the same token, making changes like we did, changing up that back line, changing up our formations, I was like, well, maybe Adrian's onto something here. Maybe he figured it out.
Yeah, and the really interesting thing is I've at times been hard on Eric Miller.
Mm-hmm.
But him starting on the left, he had a really big task with Artuna, who's speedy guy.
Yes.
And he did really well.
Well, you've been hard on Miller since we traded for him.
Right.
Remember the conversation we had when the trade was made, and you were
that
upset.
was a lot to do with Sam Nichols.
Yeah, you were upset about that whole trade.
I like Sammy.
I know you like Sammy.
So, for me, I thought he did well, and to the point where I'd say, considering the team that we're playing tomorrow, he should start. I think we should have the exact same back line.
I think so too. That's a question I guess we can get into when we finish talking about this game, is what's going to happen tomorrow. I mean, what we're going to just a quick hit. What we're going to do tomorrow, but thing was a 0-0 halftime score for me was like, holy shit!
Right.
We have a chance to win this game now.
Yeah.
Because we kept holding Zlayton out of the score box, and if you do that for a half, you're going to have an opportunity in the second half.
Right, and I mean, we should point out that LA was without Alessandrini.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right.
And he's now there without him for like 4 months, which is too bad for them because Alessandrini is a fantastic player.
Yeah.
And so that certainly probably helped our chances a bit. But yeah, it's one of those things where that first half we did really well to hold our own. I put in my notes that both were extremely organized. Mm-hmm. Both defenses were very organized. We just held where you needed to hold.
That's right.
And you bent where you needed to bend and not bend. And it was just a very good first half. It was a very good game, period. But
I mean, it's tough to talk about games like this because it's a 0-0 score.
Right.
So you go, well, there's opportunities everywhere.
Right.
There was great passes. Metnair had a couple great passes. There were some things in the box. DQ missed a couple of chances.
Yeah.
So it's tough to talk about a game because nothing went into the goal.
Right.
Yeah. So we come out of the half, and it's the same deal. It's a back and forth, and you're going, at some point, something's got to break here. Somebody's got to break something open.
And literally nothing broke.
The only thing that broke open was the rain clouds.
Yes.
Coming down. And I texted you because you were out there in the Wonderwall. I said, you're going to get rain here in a little bit. And then I was watching on TV, and it just started coming down. I'm like, oh, yeah, there it is.
And you know what? Where I was, I did not get rain.
Nice.
I was literally just underneath the roof.
There you go.
And, I got misted a couple times. Mm-hmm. But, I think the people down further below me enjoyed the rain.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a nice night, so it wasn't like it was cold or anything.
I heard now that there was Zlayton is, where is he? Is he Swedish?
Yes.
I heard that somebody at the game had a big Swedish flag that they got kicked out.
Oh, really? I didn't hear that.
So I saw on the Twitterverse that somebody had a big Swedish flag. I think it was in the Wonderwall
Oh,
somehow, and they put up a Sweden flag, and they were forced out.
Yeah.
Which is that's fine
yeah,
with me.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not where you put that flag.
well, you don't.